So I go on a lot of walks. I walk a lot. I walk every day. There's this park between my place of employment and my apartment. So every day when I get off, I just go to the park, walk some miles, and then come home. Easy peasy. But there's this guy who has this dog. I don't know what kind of dog. All I know is it's this big. That's what kind of dog it is. A this big dog. And every time I walk past, bark, 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 bark. Now, between you and me, if that little dog gets off his collar and comes and catches me, I know how it ends. But it's not just me. That dog doesn't just hate me. Every time there's a bigger dog that walks past. Now, between me and that other dog, I can tell that other dog, I know how that would end. If that little dog gets off his leash and finds the big dog, I know where my money is. But it's not just me. It's not just the bigger dogs. Every time a car drives by, here's the thing. I don't know how that would end. If that little dog got off that little leash and he got to that car and that car was stopped, guys, I don't know what he does. I don't know what that dog does when he gets to the car. Welcome to Strip Cover Lit, where we squeeze the bigger picture of literature. I'm Adrian Ford, and we're here for a poetry discussion, after which this will make sense, I promise. This poetry discussion will take place in the poetry discussion playlist here on the channel, a playlist now approaching 750 videos strong. The poem in question, The Road That Has No End by Joseph Burrows, and it reads as such. Hast ever tramped along the road that has no end? The far brown winding road, your one fast friend, a tattered, weather-beaten swag, a silent mate to send his dumb, warm comfort to the heart, a fount where dreams ascend. There's wondrous freedom on the road that has no end. A man's heart glows, his spirit leaps to blend its joy to life with fierce winds gust upon his face, to lend its cry to nature's tumult, full and shrill, as twilight shades descend. The flowers bloom along the road that has no end, cool breezes blow, the gum trees sway and bend. The wild doves woo and softly coo their soothing notes and mend a heart's throbbing pain to sweet content. And peace lights the mind's sad trend. There's pain and toil along the road that has no end, a sinking heart and weary feet that spend their strength and lag and crave respite, and dim, tired eyes that tend to close their heavy lids upon the stinging dusts that upward wend. There are sweet still hours along the road that has no end, 'neath twinkling stars, when night's deep shades o'erpend. A man's eyes shine with gathered tears, and memories come to rend his straining heartstrings, while above the paling lights his mood commend. I love the road, the swagman's road that has no end. I love its joys that pains and toils transcend. It is my dreams, the life that fills my heart, and when death comes and would my peacefulness amend, I pray that God may let my soul depart with my tattered swag beside me, mid my friends that never chide me, and my face towards the distant clouded hill, where leads the far brown winding road that has no end. Now, what does that little dog have to do with this poem? This poem is largely about the adventure of life, but there's a couple tertiary things that go along with that. Number one, the importance of staying in motion. A rolling stone grows no moss, don't you know? But number two, if you're walking along the road, this is clearly a metaphor for moving towards something, having goals. However, if this is a road that has no end, well, that changes the math on goal setting now, doesn't it? We think of the idea of goal setting as being like walking along a road where you're getting to a destination. You walk to the supermarket. The supermarket is the goal. So if you set goals, I want to weigh 175 pounds, 175 pounds is the destination. This poem is sort of saying that, well, yeah, that's the destination, but who cares? Many of the sort of cliches that you find along the way of setting goals and trying to better yourself in life say that life is not a destination, it's a journey, right? That's okay, so you set your goal at 175 and maybe you get to 190 and, well, you made the effort. It's the person you became along the way. If that dog, that little doggy, if he gets to that car, man, I don't know what he does. If he gets to me or that big Doberman, he's going to get destroyed. Is this poem something of a commentary on the fact that if we do reach our goals, it destroys us? We had better have no end to the road? Because you've certainly known people that had a goal and they got there and they were not fulfilled, and realizing that all of their work led to zero fulfillment led to that person's downfall. You see it all the time with musicians and artists and actors. But you see it all the time in your own life too. Someone who does make it into a fancy college, does get a fancy degree, can't find the job. Guess what? They're an alcoholic now. These are not as dramatic, perhaps, as easily viewable as when it happens to a celebrity. And we don't think of them in the same light, but certainly they are. Getting to your goal and realizing that fulfillment does not lie there, you go a little wonky. That dog gets off his leash, he's a little dog. If he finally gets to one of his goals, it's going to crush him. Is the purpose of this poem to say, as opposed to the sort of the pop culture idea that setting goals is, okay, but really it's about the journey that along the way, so the goal itself doesn't matter? Is this poem saying quite the opposite, that once you get close to whatever that goal is, you better set a new one, baby, because there's going to be something real wily at the end for you? I'm not sure. I think that this is perhaps not quite so serious as that, but I think that this poem is suggesting that maybe this is not a micro goal poem, but a macro goal poem. What is the road that never ends? It's life, but life does end, doesn't it? So the goal would be to have a life having been worth living. Is that perhaps the message at the end of The Road That Has No End by Joseph Burrows? That is all I have for this poetry discussion. If you like, appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting a like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other literature lovers. If you find yourself here by chance but not design, literature is the only thing I talk about on this channel, dropping multiple videos every single week. And as always, I hope to have you back for the next one.